Greetings and welcome back, one and all, to Pillars of Eternity, where our characters are just about to tucker down for the evening, I think. So let's get them all resting, shall we? Someone mentioned in the comments that they wish there were more varied cutscenes when resting, and I must agree, especially when in a dungeon. You just get a generic outdoorsy campfire. It's like, this isn't really quite fitting for where we are. Sagani draws up beside you, her fox following at her heels, and takes a seat next to you.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again.
Aw, that's nice, Sagani. You've been searching for Persock for 5 years? Sounds like you've been gone from home a long time. Finding Persock must be important to you to have travelled so long. Yes.
5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Ichimak.
Hearing its name, the fox looks up. No, I think, being a bit of a wanderer, I don't think Glindur would find the idea of being on the go for 5 years to be particularly exhausting.
It certainly started out that way.
Oh, it looks like she, on the other hand, disagrees.
It's been a long hunt. A long time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands.
You have children? Wow. That is a long time then.
Without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it.
Why do you have to find Persock?
Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Elitsak. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Elitsak during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persock died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week, and we honored the chosen huntress as a hero. That
sounds like an interesting way to spend your time. I'm sure it's actually quite a party, honestly. But feasting on blubber, I will be honest, maybe I just haven't tried it, and I'm being very close-minded, but that doesn't sound too appealing to me.
Then she left, and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her.
Oh. I'm going to try and reassure her. I'm sure your village still remembers you, Sagani. You're kind to say so, but I'm not so fragile that I need my name chanted in the meeting halls.
It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me. But sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me, if they think of me often.
Again, I think Glindur would try to be optimistic about this. Of course they do. They must. I would like to believe it, and yet sometimes days go by and I realize that they have not crossed my thoughts. Such days are rare, but they happen. She looks away, tugging at the strap of her quiver. It shames me to think of it, but more than that, it scares me.
Still, there's no point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persock will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives?
In fragments. Glindur will be honest with her, I think. I don't think Glindur will lie, but he could go with either of these and they would be an honest statement. Glindur can't see much clearly, and what he does see, he sees it in fragments, but he has a choice of wording it in such a way as either to be positive or negative with what he believes that would lift her spirits more. So he's going to go with the positive look at it. Yes, in fragments. She leans a hair's breadth closer. Really? What's that like? I feel like I'm growing crazy most of the time. Uncomfortable. I just as soon not remember any of it. Frustrating. I only wish I knew more. I've been learning a lot about myself. There are parts I like, and parts I don't. I mean, that's true of anyone's life, really. It's strange, but, well, actually, they were concerns at a point, but I think Glinter is probably more frustrated that he can't see the whole picture rather than anything else. I don't envy you. Guess I'm lucky I only have to worry about someone else's past life.
Makes me wonder what Persak remembers about our village. Or if a turn at the wheel has yanked the details out of his mind like it does for most of us.
Has your village changed much since his time?
Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. But our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean.
That's something that I imagine that Glindur and Kana would appreciate, the idea of the elders being storytellers and preserving the history of the clan. Utamak brushes against her hip and she scratches his head. Recently, there have been a lot of good years. My aunts say we've had fewer clashes with neighbouring villages thanks to the hunting territories that Persak helped establish. In bad years, we rely on trade with the merchants that pass our shores. We exchange walrus tusks and seal pelts for grains that last us the hard winters. Persak brokered a lot of those agreements too. She holds up a bear figurine. He got this from one of the Amawa ships that used to trade with us. Titan village. It sounds like Persak did a lot for your people.
That's what I'm supposed to remind him.
Ah, okay. Sounds like you're on the hunt of your own, though. You feeling the thrill of the chase, or ready for this to be over? God, too early to tell. I imagine that's true. I enjoy the adventure. Every day brings something new. This is also true. Running around like this keeps me from what matters to me. I'd be hoping to settle down. That is absolutely against Glindur's character. Does it matter? I don't have much of a choice in this anyway. That is kind of true, but I think Glindur, he enjoys seeing new sights. It's one of the reasons why he drifts so much. She smiles. Refreshing indeed. She rises and stretches, looking around. Might as well keep moving while we've got some daylight. Well, we've only just woken up, I suppose. I'd like to talk some more. No, we've talked a lot, and we've got a fair ways to go. There'll always be time for more chit-chat. Let's go. There we are. Okay, right then. Let us be off. We want to... Ooh, that's a little bit choppy. We're going to want to head out in this direction, I think. Okay, that's really quite choppy. Oh, hello. Not gonna fight us? I was wondering about that. Sup. There we go. We'll just immediately annihilate that line. It was, honestly, there wasn't even a thought that it would be able to challenge us. There we go. And we've got a lion's hide. Not too bad at all. I do apologize for the choppiness. Unfortunately, I'm transferring some files from this computer to my rendering machine. So I assumed that they would be done within a few minutes, but it seems that by launching the game, it has slowed down the transfer just ever so slightly. But they should be done pretty soon. Now then, we want to travel to the next area, which will be Edelwan Bridge. So let's get over there, shall we? It'll take us 4 hours to get there, though. Won't be too terribly bad. Okay. Ooh. Okay, what have we got over here? Nice big well-lit bridge. Is that it? It's just a bridge to cross? Really? I mean, okay. I don't mind that, but alright. Let's stealth, though.
Let's keep quiet.
There's no reason not to be sensible about this. Oh, hello. Who's this? Commoner. Okay, let's not just sneak up on commoners. It's not the type of people we want to be known as. Hello? Business around here took a hit when Stalwart's mines dried up. Oh, fair enough. Ooh. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. We'll step back. Let's keep a move on. Hello over there. You're from the Living Lands. You must have seen some crazy things. And looks like we've got some more of the backers here as well. If you need an inn for the night, Goose and Fox has the softest beds and the best ale. Excuse me. Very well, you're excused. What for? I don't know. By the look of your bright... Oh, I would have said by the look of your brightly coloured clothes that you were backers, but apparently not. These days, it's rare to find folks who'll do so much for strangers. Okay. Apparently, that sounds like we should have just seen something big, but it didn't happen. Welcome to Revine's Bay, but watch yourself in our city. Understand? Ah, that's not a very nice way to welcome guests.
Hail, traveler.
What can I do for you? What can you tell me about Defiance Bay? Sorry, but I don't have time right now. But it sounds like that dozen's crackpot Rowan is stirring up trouble again. Checks his head at the gate. He'd be all too happy to give you a rundown of the city, liberally flavoured with dozens of propaganda, of course. Sorry. I'm looking for the Temple of Wodica. He scratches his beard. Not sure why you'd want to go there. He shrugs. It's in the first fires if you really want to see it. Seem to be on edge. What's the problem? Thousands of them, truth be told. We've got refugees coming in from all parts, and there's some misguided notion that things are actually better here. That's the legacy somehow passed us over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. He looks you up and down. No offense. None taken. He grunts, and good luck to you. Thank you. What is it? Looking for the Temple of Wodica. Huh. If you say so, it's in the first fires, just west of Crucible Keep. Okay, thank you. There we are. We have updated our quest. Let's have a quick look. Pass around, learn that the temple can be found in the district called First Fires. Wow, that was remarkably fast. Okay, well, there's a couple of places... Oh, I can't go to them. I have to go through Copper Lane. Oh, that's interesting. I was going to say that... I wonder if there'll be quests that give me a reason to go to these locations and if I should wait for those quests to happen first. Otherwise, I might go there, do all of this stuff like out of order and then be sent back there later on. But it looks like we can only go to Copper Lane. Though, before we do, let me just check. Nothing needs to be brought, nothing needs to be brought. Complete. How is everything going over there? Is anything being worked on? The Eastern Barbican. It finished in 1 day and 6 hours, the main keep. Very well. Let's move on. So, Copper Lane. It will take you 15 minutes to complete your journey. Wow, that's a short travel time compared to all the others we've been seeing. My goodness. Fantastic, says I.
Defiance Bay.
Ooh.
The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons.
That's never
the
good.
capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
What goes around comes around, I suppose. Okay. Oh, really? Did it take me 15 minutes to do that? I can't imagine that that's the case, but okay. We're not going to sneak around in here. I think that would be likely to be seen as suspicious. Just a car? A cat? Hello? No? Well, it's not stealing, so I'll take it.
Defiance Bay. I miss Adir already.
Oh dear. These animancers! And yet, the Duke and his toadies in the Crucible Knights do nothing. Chat with the dust car. Crucible Knights weren't always soldiers, but used to be blacksmiths. Oh, okay. Let's see what they're talking about. Can we talk with any of them? Down with Animancy! Okay. Rowan's arms are crossed, and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. Sizes you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacy no better here. It's the Animances. Magrins scorch them, and they nest in this city like rats. You mark my words, though. Us dozens are gonna put a stop to it. Tell me about the dozens. Taps his chest. We're an organization of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animances and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honor. Well said, Eder, well said. His eyes gleam. And we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. You have any interest in hearing more? Stop by Aidmouth's Den sometime. The Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers in there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animances want you to believe. Might even be some paid work there for motivated types. What are you doing out here? Gestures the crowd, which buzzes with angry chatter. Trying to get folks to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animance's dangerous liberties. What do you know about Animancy? It's the study and the manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adirians at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul reading those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Iguithian times, which is why you'll see Animances tinkering with old Iguithian artifacts. Kana raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths, all. But he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. I like Kana. Shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animances got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing, at least. I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. That is the capital of the free Palatianate, I have no idea about that word, of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of the Adirian colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world. But we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copper Lane, First Fires, Ondra's Gift, Brackenbury, and Heritage Hill. He ticks each off a calloused finger. Okay, well, tell me about Copper Lane then. This here is Copper Lane. He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but you'll also got the Expedition Hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. There's also where my fellow dozen martyrs and I tend to meet up with the other concerned citizens. He points to a long, domed building west and north of your position. And that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me. But they've got the biggest library in the Deerwood. Kind of laughs. Eerie indeed. It might be less so if more kith stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Glindur and see just what mysteries are revealed. I'm with you on that one, Kana. Right, First Fires is the next place we want. That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Valian Embassy, and Crucible Keep. Shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with the eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old temple of Boudica there too. We keep it real nice for her. He winks. Okay. Tell me about Brackenbury. A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adir stayed there. Most of the families there traced their lineage back to old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, they've got Hardret House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenbury Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits on the cobblestones. That sounds like somewhere we want to go and check out. What about Andra's Gift? It got the name because it was a wetlands that was drained back in the Imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place, too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mast when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Okay. Docks District. I get you. Tell me about the Heritage Hill. He shivers. It used to be one of the more prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plot up there, next to an ancient Ingwithian tower and the city cemetery. Had the best views of Devine's Bay. Attract richer types these days. A lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple of months ago. The authorities sealed it off, and they're keeping their mouths shut. But mark my words, animancy's to blame. Right, okay, well, farewell. Egat. Looks like this place has loads of things that we're going to be able to do. Reminds me of Neverwinter in a way. What about over here? Anything we can have a look at? No. Just a car down there. Anything down here? No. We're going to have to go over this bridge, it seems. Hello, just a car. The expeditions out of Ardmeth's Den are just organized grave robbery. Oh, that's not good. Only the best soldiers get to patrol the palace. Very well. Makes sense. Okay, what's this place? The Goose and Fox. Oh, we were told to poke our nose in there. Oh, wow. Marketplace. Aidman's Den. Expedition Hall. House. World map. Couple of houses. Dormitory. First Fires. Catacombs. Brackenbury. Well, I can all... Oh, the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. That's somewhere we'd like to go. So, First Fires and the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. But, well, we've just entered a city. There's going to be an awful lot that we're going to do. The next couple of episodes are probably going to be us wandering around picking up quests like nobody's business, talking to the locals, getting the lay of the land, if you like. But that's going to be it for this episode. We'll end it here, and in the very next episode... I'm thinking we'll probably drop into the Goose and Fox and see what the locals have to say for themselves. But that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.